If you are what you say you are, a superstar, then have no fear.
What a day it will be on Saturday at the MCGs. We bid farewell to three club icons. Jack Riewoldt is a favourite son at Tigerland. Trent Cotchin, the club's only triple premiership captain. Both might have statues at Punt Road one day. And Jack Ziebell, the ultimate shin boner, a ruthless competitor, reliable teammate, a brilliant captain of the North Melbourne Football Club. It will be sad to farewell these legends and to watch three stars of our game say so long to the AFL. A massive crowd expected at the MCG. If you can get to the game, get there. If you can't, never fear, you can watch it siren to siren on Fox Footy. This will be emotional, won't it?
It will be. They're some of the most fun games you can play in. I remember I played in a game where Kazitsky, Stevie Milne, Jason Blake all retired on the same day, and you don't get too many games of football where we can just actually enjoy the occasion. You know, these teams can't play finals. It's going to be a really special feel, even if you don't break for these two teams. If you love your footy, I would suggest just get to the MCG and just lap it up.
And how good to have Jack Ziebell join us on 360 Plus. Jack, thanks for coming on the show.
G'day guys, thank you very much for having me.
Can you believe how it's panned out with you bidding farewell alongside two Richmond icons?
No, it's pretty cool. It's going to be a pretty big day at the MCG on Saturday, and both Jack and Trent have had unbelievable careers for Richmond and had some ultimate success there at their football club as well. So to be able to share a special moment in finishing our careers together will be something that I'll remember for a long time.
What have you admired about those two?
Well, I think the way that they've gone about their football obviously is really, really impressive. But the way that they got Richmond to be such a powerhouse over the last probably 5 or 10 years is astonishing, really. And they've had 3 flags, I think, and been really, really hard to play against over that journey. And to have as many members and supporters come out of the woodwork as they did throughout that period, to see the Tiger Army up and about was something that I haven't seen in my lifetime. And it's something I really admired them to be able to do that.
Congratulations on your own career, Jack. You're going to leave the game one of the most respected, admired players. You're one of the toughest and most courageous we played against. When you've spent this week reflecting, what do you reflect on about your journey?
Yeah, to be honest, Joey, I haven't reflected too much just yet. I've actually just been trying to soak it all in and enjoy every moment, every last training session, weight session, although I don't like that too much anymore, doing the weights, but enjoying all the stuff that comes with being a professional footballer, because as of next week, it's all going to be over. So I think in due course, we'll probably reflect a little bit more on our careers and some of the highs and probably some of the lows as well. And I'll probably just a quick one for me would be going back to 2014 and 15 when the Kangas were in back-to-back prelim finals, was something that I'll probably have as my highlight of my career. We were unfortunate probably not to get to the big dance on the last day in September throughout my career, but I can put my head on the pillow at the end of my career and really, understand that I've done everything I can to try and get there and leave no stone unturned so I can sleep well at night.
We're reliving your first AFL goal. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that. It was a shocking hairdo. I think I lost Kangaroo Lotto, which is a head shave punishment at the Kangaroo down there. So it was one I won't forget, that's for sure.
You speak about those finals moments. How grateful are you for that chapter of your career, given the club's gone through a fair few struggles in the most recent years?
Yeah, I am super grateful to be able to experience those big moments as a player and playing big games at the MCG in front of big crowds in finals and win those games of football. And for me, it's probably been one of my motivating factors the last 3 or 4 or 5 years is with our club at the moment and the position we're in, is trying to get these young guys all on the same page and developing really, really quickly so they can experience those moments really, really and try and get those moments really, really quickly as well. And our club, unfortunately, hasn't had the success we would have liked over the last few years. But I think now we've got plenty of pieces in place to really head in that direction, which is really exciting for all our fans, but also those young guys and get to experience some exciting times, hopefully playing big games in finals football.
So you had your last training session today. Have the club done anything for you so far? Have they got something planned leading up to the game? How have they sort of handled it so far to make it a memorable one?
It's been quite low-key so far. We had a bit of a precursor last week with Benny Cunnington finishing up. So I think we might have a couple of things planned for tomorrow, but there was a few out there today that turned out, a few supporters and that, which was nice and a little bit humbling. And the people that have reached out, probably since I announced my retirement over the last 3 or 4 weeks, has been probably a little bit overwhelming, to be fair. You don't realise how many people you come in contact with throughout 15 years of playing at the elite level, and plenty of coaches and support staff and players, ex-players and current players and guys you've had a bit of an impact on over your journey. It's really, really humbling to experience that when it's coming to an end.
Can you share with us one message that really caught you by surprise or touched your heart?
Actually, there was one. Mark Robinson on 360 actually texted me, and I haven't spoke to Robbo for a very, very long time. So it was a bit out of the blue, actually, and he sent me a nice message. My first year, we went to a community camp in Ballarat, and he interviewed me, I think, for the Herald Sun back in 2009. He actually remembered that and spoke about that a little bit in the text. So I had a little bit of a chuckle. That was quite amusing.
He must do the same thing. He says that to me. He remembers in 2003 coming down to a training camp in Tasmania and meeting me as an 18-year-old. So he must go with that story with a few blokes. But who are some of your favourite teammates, Jack? Who are the ones that you sort of reflect on and go, they were some of the favourite teammates I loved playing with, for whatever reason?
Yeah, there's been quite a few, to be honest. I'm a bit of an old school footballer, so I like the guys who are a bit rough and tough. And a couple of those boys, like Benny Cunnington, obviously I spent a lot of time playing with him. I love the way he went about it. Drew Petrie was unbelievable as a big, strong key forward. He'd always have your back up there. And Michael Frito is another one. He's a half-back flanker from Gembrook who never took a backward step. And one of my best mates, Robbie Tarrant, as well. They're probably four of my favourites who, they just love running out with those boys every week, and they make you walk taller as you're going up that race, which is what you want in a teammate.
I'm glad you mentioned the rough and tumble. I wanted to ask you, now that you are retiring and you're one of the old boys, what do you make of the state of the game now? The physicality? Are you going to look back and go, the game's gone a bit soft? Because you were brutal. You loved hitting blokes and you were very good at it, in a fair way, of course. Are you looking at the game now and thinking it's gone a bit soft, or do you understand it and accept it?
No, I think I understand it. It's a challenge, that's for sure. Well, our great game is like no others around the world. Our physical contact is what brings people to the games. We all sign up as players for potential injuries. We understand that, but I get the league trying to mitigate as much risk as possible. But I'm an advocate for the physicality in our game. It's definitely changed in my career. I've definitely had to change the way I've played a little bit to keep up with the times. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have played too many games and spent some more time on the sidelines. So I think the AFL is trying to do the right thing. Player safety is a really, really important part of what's happening at the moment, especially with the head knocks. I understand that, but there's also an aspect of let the boys play a little bit as well that sits in my heart a little bit too.
You've mentioned Ben Cunnington a couple of times throughout this interview. How much did it mean to you to be able to see him experience the farewell game and be part of that last week in terms of a small part of your farewell tour as well? And did you have a few moments where you thought, gee, this will be me next Saturday?
Oh, I did, yes. It was a bit surreal, actually, knowing that was going to be the last time I'd run out with Cunners. We've played a lot of footy together over the journey. He's a great man. He's been through a lot through his footy career, but also his life. As a 30-year-old having to deal with what he dealt with, but to see him come out of that, an unbelievable person still with a fantastic family supporting him, to get back and play at the elite level was incredible. And then to be able to go again and play this year, obviously didn't have the year he wanted to as an individual, probably playing the VFL, but to get that last send-off, and I think the way he played was actually really impressive as well. Kicked a couple of snags and got plenty of the ball. So it's something I'll cherish for a very long time, having a really close connection with Cunners, being able to share that last moment together.
And hopefully you can finish like him with a bang in the last game. But surely you've got something planned with Cunners after this weekend. Have you planned to go and have a few beers, go fishing, go away together? What's on the agenda after this weekend?
Yeah, we might find time to have a couple of quiet sherbets Saturday night somewhere. We'll figure that out with a few family and friends. And Cunners, to see him again after this point, we're either going to have to go about 10 k's offshore on his boat or go down to Warrnambool and see him on his farm. So we'll have to make the trip down there a couple of times a year to catch up with the big fella.
Oh, you got plenty to look forward to in retirement life. Jack, we so appreciate your time tonight and enjoy every second of Saturday at the G.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Right on, mate.
Well done. Oh, we're losing so many great players.
Yeah, we are. This is a big year.
It's getting
emotional.
emotional.
Yeah.